Hello, long time no see. I'm finally ready to talk about two books. Sorry it took so long. I was out of the observatory. I'm back. I have two books to talk about today to review, and then I'm going to pull two more. I'll explain why in a second. Anyway, thank you for waiting. Sorry this took so long. It took me forever to get this book, and I got this book, but let's talk about it. So, first, I'll talk about Dark Constellations. This was the second book I drew. I originally drew this book. Somebody had this checked out of my library, and I was like, look, I'm not going to spend money on this. I'm just going to wait. That's fine. It finally came in, but in the meantime, it had been like a week and a half, and it still hadn't come back, even though it was supposed to come back well before that. So I pulled this book instead, and this book was available. I grabbed it from the library. Great. Let's read this one first, and then this one came in like shortly after. So, Dark Constellations by Pola Oloixarac. I'm going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting from the description of this book. So, Dark Constellations is Argentinian Pola Oloixarac's investigation on humanity's quest for knowledge and control, hurtling from the 19th century mania for scientific classification to present-day mass surveillance and the next steps in human evolution. This follows 3 point of views throughout history, all telling a tale that is supposed to be interwoven together a la Cloud Atlas, I think. So I really don't have a good description of this book because what I got from this book was very different from the pitch on the back of the book. To be transparent, this was my first DNF of the year. I did not finish this book. The first 50 pages of this book were just very weird and not in a good way, not in a fun way. The text was flowery to its detriment. I now have several new ways to describe dicks, to be transparent. Like genital geysers, for one. I'm not going to get into too much description as I don't want to spoil this for people who want to try this themselves. But for the 50 pages I read, the story was unpleasant, not interesting, repetitive, and just weird. And not fun weird. Again, not fun weird. I feel bad to like just DNF this book because this was suggested to me. But I don't feel so bad because this was a suggestion from TBR, a professional book recommendation service. I did tell the book service that I wanted to like push my boundaries with reading, but I don't know if this is pushing my boundaries as it is just bad. I'm sorry. I can usually push through a book if it's boring, but actively bad? I guess I can't. I learned this about myself, so I guess I don't consider it a total failure. So I'm just gonna leave it up to you to either pick up the book and read the first few pages of it, and you'll probably understand why I thought it was weird. And I don't know, a part of me wonders if this is because the translation was strange. This is a translated novel, and so it makes me really sad to not read it. But it just, I couldn't, even though this book isn't even a long book, I just knew that I was not wasting my time, but I was like going to drag my feet on this book, and it was just, I just knew it wasn't going to work out for me. And this book came in on my holds, my library holds, so I got this instead. The Book of Three by Lloyd Alexander. This is the book that I thought I was going to read first, but didn't due to library logistics. This is the classic children's fantasy that inspired the Disney movie The Black Cauldron. The story follows Taran, a wannabe hero who has only achieved the title of assistant pig keeper in his life so far. Taran is immediately called to action when the oracular pig Henwen escapes her pen and runs far, far away, Taran following, like running after her the whole time. The journey expands in a typical fantasy fashion. Taran gains a band of followers. You get to see the origins of many characters that make an appearance in the Black Cauldron, like Eilanwi and Gurgi, and of course, the evil horned king is there too. This is going to sound like an insult, and I don't mean it like that. Just hear me out. I've read a lot of Nancy Drew books in my life for a personal challenge that I was undertaking, and reading this felt like I was reading another Nancy Drew novel. Like, it's a book written for children, and so it keeps more simple syntax and language. It keeps more simple syntax than an adult novel, but the plot itself involves a lot of things that some kids are going to find horrifying. I had a fine time reading this. It's not the most interesting when the plot is more or less written on the map. It's crazy. Hold on, let me show you. Yeah, you can kind of see it. There's arrows, and all these arrows show you where the characters go on the map. And, like, I only looked at this map a couple times, but, like, it only took, like, you know, a couple chapters to realize, like, oh, this is their journey. I guess I know where they're going. okay. Which is like fine. I don't know. This isn't the book's fault. This is this publication's fault that has a map like that. I don't know. I don't. My actual only real complaint about this book is that Taryn, the main character, sometimes he comes off as like a huge jerk, but then everyone says he's a good person. Like, I get that he's a kid and he's growing up and he's learning like what you can and cannot do, what you should and should not do. It was confusing to me, and I'm glad Isla Me just clowns on him constantly. I can completely see why this would be someone's favorite childhood series. I have a very middling opinion on it. I think it was fine. I had a perfectly fine time of it. It wasn't fantastic, but I didn't hate it. I didn't dislike it either. It was just like, oh, okay, yeah. It kind of felt like I was reading like educational, like a book that I got assigned for a class. Like, I can see why I should have read this book, but I don't personally love it. It didn't change my life, but it was perfectly fine. So yeah, I'm glad to have read this and the Phantom Tollbooth just feel like fundamental reading that I should have read a long time ago. So if anything, this TBR project is bringing that. It's almost like I'm getting like a essential children's literature writing class, like assignments, which is not a bad thing, but I'm excited to pull my next books. I'm going to pull 2 books from this box. Reason being that I'm going to be out of the observatory again. I have a couple. Well, I have one known trip and another unknown trip if it's actually going to happen. But because I had such an issue with getting the Book of 3, pulling another book and then having 2 books to focus on, I actually really liked that. It kind of worked for me. We'll see how it goes again, if I want to stick with that. And I think also pulling 2 right now because I don't know when I'm going to be back to make another of these like review videos. It helps me like keep going so then I can review 2 books at once and then pull another one or when I get back. So let's start. Let me pull a book. Yeah. I'm just going to go fast for the first one. Ooh, this one lasted. Which one are you? Oh my gosh, it's my first book prompt. Oh no, what does it say? Oh, I'm scared. So I have several, this is like a piece of paper, not like a mini book. I have several slips in here, maybe like five or six, I don't remember, that are either book prompts. Like I have a couple books, hold on. I bought these like mini books that are like actual like literal books. They have like words and stuff in them that are like, I have like Charles and the Chocolate Factory. I have a couple other too. And I have other prompts like read the highest rated book on your digital TBR, which is like my Goodreads want to read list. Read the highest rated, read whatever book I want to, or I think I added Snow Crash by Neil Stevenson because I realized I had forgotten to make a mini for it and I had intended to, so we'll see what it is. Which is funny because like Neil Stevenson's Snow Crash is like the adult book and most of these prompts are like literally like Diary of a Wimpy Kid. So very different topics. Hold on, I can't open it. There we go. I got it open. Oh, what do you say? I'm so scared. Highest rated on my digital TBR. I'm gonna have to go look up what that is though. Okay. Oh, I'm so excited for this actually. I had been waiting to pull one of these and I knew I wasn't gonna get one because the odds were just not in the favor of these, but now that I've whittled down several books, it finally became possible. I'm not sure what it is because I've added a bunch of books, and so when a book is like new on Goodreads, it will typically be like rated really high, and then it will lower in rating the longer the book has been out because more people will have read it and you get more opinions in the mix. But so I'm wondering if it's probably going to be a 2025 release. That's my guess.
One eternity later.
If I flip it to highest, the highest is it's Go Luck Yourself by Sarah Rash. I'm pretty excited to read this book. I was wondering, because I know I added Arcana Academy recently, so I wondered if that would be higher, but it's not. Oh my gosh, I'm pretty excited. Actually, I want to read this book too, The Sunbearer Trials. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to read Go Luck Yourself. It's the second book in the Royals and Romance series. I read A Nightmare Before Christmas last year and had a really fun time, and I'm pretty excited to read this now. Go Luck Yourself is, The Nightmare Before Christmas is like, it's like a world where people actually run the holidays, and there's like people and magic exists, and these people, they run off of like the belief that these holidays like Santa exists, and holiday cheer gives the holidays power, and Santa of course has like a conglomerate on holiday cheer because it's Christmas, and son is supposed to take over as the heir, but he doesn't want to. He falls in love with his rival, the Prince of Halloween, and they have a little romance together. That's all I'm going to say. I could give you a better description, but you should just go check it out yourself. And Go Luck Yourself is, so there's a second Prince of Christmas. Yeah, Cole is the guy who's taking over, and then his Chris, like Kris Kringle, is the younger brother, and now I guess he's going to go investigate St. Patrick's Day. It's enemies to lovers in the sexy, delightful holiday mashup that pairs the spare Prince of Christmas with the Crown Prince of St. Patrick's Day. Okay. I'm actually really excited because the thing is, this book is stupid, but it's really fun. So that's exciting. I'm going to move back over here. All right. And then I have to pull another book. So that is the highest rated on my digital TBR. Yay! I get to read a dumb book. Yay! Okay. Let's pull again. I'll swirl it around a couple more times. Okay. This is a book. Ooh! This is, let me pull up to see who did it. This is The Black Unicorn by Tanith Lee. This was suggested to me by Shog Mommy this is a short book, so I should be able to find I'm hoping that my library has this. If not, I'll just use the interlibrary loan system to get it, and that's exciting. So I'm going to be reading, I'll put a picture up on the screen, Go Luck Yourself by Sarah Rash, and The Black Unicorn by Tanith Lee. Very, very different books, I'm going to assume. It'd be hilarious if I was like, actually, these are really similar books. This is giving a much different vibe than Go Luck Yourself. Anyway, I'm gonna go now. I have some reading to do. I hope to be back sometime in the near future. What are you reading right now? Let me know if you're reading anything fun. I want to know. I genuinely do. And I don't know. Have a good day. Bye.